Hello everybody, and welcome back to the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Instagram, Pinterest, Ravelry, Goodreads, all the social medias. You can find show notes for this episode in the down bar below. And if I miss anything that you're interested in and you want me to link to it, just let me know and I can add it. You can either leave a comment there, or you can also leave a comment in the Ravelry group as well. Yeah. So anyway, I'm still on my once a month schedule, which, whatever, hey, I'm here. So thank you all for joining me. I have several finished objects to share today. I have some whips, I have some acquisitions, have some random stuff to share. Yeah, so it's January, I think 29th. I don't know why I'm looking at my calendar because I think it's set to the wrong day. But I think it's January 29th of 2021. January is what I call my special month because my birthday and my anniversary both are in January. So lots of good things happen for me in January. I also happen to love snow. There's a lot of snow. Today we are getting record amounts of snow, apparently, although I feel like we've had another snowstorm that has been 18 inches. That's about what's being called for today. It started snowing last night and it's supposed to snow all the way through to this evening. So we'll see how much we end up getting. I think right now I'd say there's probably, I don't know, based on the window, I'd say there's about 5 or 6 inches out there. Okay, bud, you can get out and get something. I'm doing stuff right now. Yeah, I was hoping the snow would show up, but it really just looks like bright and crazy over here because it's really white out there. But I will try to take some footage of the snow and maybe I'll insert it either in the beginning as like an intro or I'll put it at the end if you want to watch. The kids have already been outside. Ada's been outside twice to play in it. She's kind of barking periodically at all of the windows, partially because like the snow plows keep going by and she hears them. And then when the neighbor's dogs are coming out, and just generally because she wants to be outside in the snow, but it's blowing pretty aggressively right now. We have like 45-mile-per-hour gusts of wind and it's kind of cold. So I didn't want to leave her out there for too long, but she would happily just like lay in the snow for hours if I let her. So yeah. Oh my goodness. It's been a month for sure. Lots of stuff with the kids, just needing help with homework and school stuff and life and yeah. My mom, I think, left before I podcasted last time. So I believe I podcast after the New Year. She stayed through the New Year's weekend and then drove back home to Ohio. Unfortunately, I don't think that she's probably going to come as frequently because she said like the drive is kind of too much for her. So she's probably going to fly, which means we won't see her as frequently, but you know, we'll just enjoy the visits when we get them. I got my new couch for my craft room, but I have not yet found a home for my old couch. And my neighbors were going to help me just take it to the transfer station because it's been around for 25 years, which is a great life for a couch. But I feel okay with if I have to throw it away because I can't find anybody to take it. But with the snowstorm, the transfer station is closed, so we can't do that. So right now my craft room has 2 couches. It's crazy packed. Like the couches are, one's on the wall like normal, there's the coffee table, and then the next couch is butted up against the coffee table. So there's almost nowhere to walk. Ada's bed is in a weird part of the room and it's really upsetting her that she can't lay down in the place where she normally would. She does like the couch. Everybody in the family likes the new couch. We all fit on it. Ada fits on it with me and my knitting, and the armrests are at a usable height for my smaller diminutive frame. So good times there. Yeah, and I also got a desk chair so that I can sew without using a folding chair, which if you watched my Vlogmas, you've seen that I use a folding chair, and after like maybe 30 minutes of sewing, it starts to hurt my back because it's kind of digging into the lumbar portion of my back. So I'm excited to have a more supportive chair to be able to sew. And then also when I go back to work in the office, this chair is from my office at work. But when we all came home to work, originally I was using that stupid folding chair in this office. Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my goodness. Salud. Ah, no money. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so I was using a folding chair for 6 months, and then once I realized the pandemic is not what we think it is, it's not going away, I finally went to the office and brought my chair home. 2 years later, here I still am, working in my home office. So whenever I go back to work, this will go back in, because when I have to go to the office, which I'm sort of going a little bit here and there, now I have to work in this conference chair, which is like just a rigid hardwood with like some padding on it. So I've switched places where now I'm kind of using the equivalent of a folding chair at work and the nice chair at home. So this will go, and then I'll just wheel that sewing machine chair between the craft room and my home office, depending on if I'm working from home, which I plan on kind of flexing and doing some days a week from home and some days in the office. That was a lot. That was a big intro. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. This is me. You come here for this content, and I'm not going to apologize for who I am. 2022, baby. Anyway, I am wearing the Wild Joy sweater by Samantha Guerin Designs. I test knit this sweater for her. It is knit out of Dream in Color Classy. This is the Gothic Rose colorway. It's a really nice deep burgundy color. I bought it at a wool gathering in 2008. Yeah, I think, yeah, 2008. So it was really, really deep stash, which is always great. I held together some mohair from Plies and Hellhounds, and shoot, the colorway is Shell Track. I think it's like Swan Island or something like that. Anyway, it's just like a gray, and it's a rustic wool. So I used it for Colorwul mittens. This is, good God, Dream State. Rusted Rainbow. Spin Cycle Dream State in the Rusted Rainbow colorway. There's a black tweed there in the Doobledoos. That one is a, shoot, of course now I have low battery. Of course I do. I finally get time to do a podcast and I have a low battery. We can make this work. Ooh, yes, I can make it work. All right, hang on. Shoo. Okay, I managed to save it before the battery died. Yay! Anyway, this black tweed is, I believe Rowan, and it's like a fine tweed, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure. It's like a thick and thin, and it's really thin in some parts, but it was fine for the thing I used it for. I love that it's low contrast there. In person, it does really show up, but since I'm blowing out the camera with the snow you can't see it. Today I'm drinking out of my Tennessee mug from Starbucks. It's the You Were Here collection. That's my sweater. I don't think I've worn it on the podcast, so I wanted to walk you through it again, but I have shown the finished object. So, finished objects so far for 2022. I started a notebook just to keep track of things. However, it is in no way fancy or plannery or anything. I just put 2022 random stuff. I haven't colored this in, but maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Asking a non-creative person to do creative stuff. In the new year, I finally started lifting weights. We have a squat rack and weights and everything else downstairs. Josh has many years now of lifting experience, so I've been wanting to lift for a while, just to like maintain strength and health as I age. So I thought, you know, since I'm home right now, this would be a great time to do it. I'm trying to stay with this flexible schedule, so on the days that I am working from home at lunchtime, I can go and lift weights. So right now my lifting takes about 30 minutes or less, depending on the day. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I wrote my starting weights for my 3 different workouts. I do squats and rows, bench press and hip thrust, RDLs, and lat pull downs. So I just put my starting weights, and then at the end of January, I was going to put my ending weights so that I could see that I'm progressing. I thought that would be nice. And then I put what whips I had on the needles to start in January. If there's things that I don't think I'll finish, and I'm thinking about frogging, I didn't even put them on this list. And then if I did finish it, I'm putting a date here in this column. So I do have a couple of things that I finished, one of which I don't have because I think Josh is wearing those socks. I finished a pair of socks for Josh. They are the tourmaline stripes in Patons Kroy with the coal colorway for the contrast heels and toes. So I will show those on maybe the next episode if he's not wearing them. And then I also finished this pair of socks. These are the Cameo colors, I think, from Patons Kroy. I started them last year sometime, and then they kind of just sat in a bag. They are definitely fraternal twins, not matched. What? What? Take 500. Yeah, Cameo colors. So Patons Kroy is like a little bit thicker of a yarn for those of you who haven't used it before. It's a little bit more like a sport weight, I think, than a fingering weight. So sometimes when I make socks for myself, they end up being a little bit big with my normal stitch count. After I've kind of washed them and worn them for a little while. So for these, I actually went down to a 60 stitch sock. Normally I do a 64 stitch sock. But yeah, I used 1 ball for each sock, and I basically have like a little nugget left of the yarn. So it's kind of a marled pinks, blues, browns, and some gray. It's really nice. That's a little bit better on the coloring. It's kind of getting washed out because I also have the lamp on, which is probably going to make everything look like crap right now. Yeah, so that is a new pair of socks for me, which is good because a lot of mine are getting holes in them because I'm sharing them with Megwin, and she likes to walk around doing this thing, walking on her heels. But it wears the heels out. So those are the Cameo colors socks. And then the last FO that I have to share that was completed this year are the World's Simplest Mittens, and they are made out of Patons Kroy Colorwul. And they're wet right now because they were worn outside. So it's a really fuzzy wool, which you can see because there's fuzz, but it's a super bulky, warm, 100% wool. So they're very nice, warm mittens. This was leftovers from a hat I made. I made the, I think it's called Chubby Brioche hat. It's by Lavanya Patricella. or maybe bulky brioche hat. I can't remember. It's one of those two, chubby brioche or bulky brioche hat. It's a really good pattern, and I love that hat. But anyway, I had enough left to do mittens, I thought. But I did run out on this thumb. So what I did is I took 3 colors of Knitpicks palette, and I just held them together. A white, a yellow. Oh, and the other one, the orange, is actually like, it was like a wool Angora something else blend. Maybe it was just wool and Angora. Anyway, I got it the first year that I went to Vogue Knitting Live from Brooklyn General. So yeah, those 3 colors together actually made the match to this color that the thumb ended on pretty nicely. It's really hard to see because they're like gooey and yucky, but I did want to show them. I like that it's kind of this really fun, funky palette of colors. I think it's called Fiesta or something like that. It's a discontinued yarn, but highly recommend. I got it at Tuesday Morning in the discount bin, which is where I got a lot of my discontinued yarns. But hey, I got hat and mittens out of it for like $6. So yeah, it was a really, really nice yarn to work with. If I ever ran across any more, I would totally snap it up. So these I made in the, I think it was like the child medium or adult small, but I made the wrist longer, and I can wear them, so they will fit on me, but the thumb is a little bit short for me. But I made them so they would fit both Joshua and Megwin, so either one of them could grab them, because I like there to be just a large amount of mittens and hats and cowls and stuff. We have just a big tub of them, and people can just go and grab whatever they want so that they have something to stay warm, especially in the winter here, because often the first pair of mittens isn't dry before they want to go back out and play again, so they need a lot of pairs. So I definitely will make more of these. It's the World's Simplest Mitten pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's a great pattern. It has instructions for everything from fingering weight to bulky weight. I use the bulky weight instructions for these, but it's great. It is a very simple mitten pattern. Those are gonna go on the floor. Now my hands are wet. But then I'll put them in front of the pellet stove and they'll be dry in like 30 minutes. Okay, and then something I haven't shared on the podcast, but this was done for Christmas time, and it is a joint FO between my mom and I. This is the Crabby sweater by Bad Wolf Girl Studios. Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. I can't remember what Meg uses for her design handle, but you could get the pattern on Ravelry, or I believe she also has it on, is it Ribbler, I think? Which is like an app that you can use to like mark your charts and where you are and stuff. So I knit it out of Crystal Palace Bunny Hop, which is this yarn here. And this yarn is Rowan wool cotton. And it has hermit crabs on it. Or some kind of crab. I don't know. They're probably not hermit crabs. They're not hermit crabs, because hermit crabs steal other crabs or other creatures' shells. These are the other kind of crabs. I don't know. And there's little hearts. He really likes it. I made a size 8, which Joshua is really like a size 6. He's just a very tiny boy. So this will fit him for probably 2 years, because I also had Mom make the arms extra long. So I finished the body down to the ribbing, and this Crystal Palace Bunny Hop killed my hands like so much, especially my my tendonitis. It made it flare up really bad. So it is a acrylic wool Angora blend. It's really soft, but it's kind of this weird spongy texture, and something about it just made me want to really tension it a lot, because it was kind of elasticy, and I think because of how much acrylic and Angora that it had in it, it just didn't have a lot of like give to it. Something about it just hurt my hands a lot. So I was gonna frog it. So I got to here and I was like, that sucks, because it's a super cute sweater. I basically almost finished it other than doing the ribbing and the sleeve. I tried to like do a little bit and I just couldn't. I was like, do I want to kill my hands and maybe not be able to knit for like months to push through, or do I want to frog it? So I sent a message to my mom and I said, hey, would you be willing to knit the ribbing and sleeves on this sweater for Joshua so we can give it to him for Christmas? I'll just send it to you with the needles in it and everything if you can finish it for me. And she said she would, so she totally finished it for me, and she brought it with her when she came to visit, so it was great. I'm really glad he has another nice sweater to wear, and he wears it all the time. It needs to be washed actually because it has some food on it, but you can't see it from that far away, but there is some like granola bar and stuff on it. So anyway, today is probably a good day to wash it when it has time to dry before he goes back to school. So that is all the finished objects that I have to share with you guys. And then, in the spirit of continuing to expand my sock drawer, I cast on a pair of birthday socks. So this is out of yarn that my mom bought for me back in 2017 for my birthday. I saw this on the Made with Carleanergy podcast, and Carlene doesn't podcast anymore as far as I know, but she does work at Brooklyn General, so you can go say hi to her. She's amazing. It is the Bergere de France Goomy 50, and this is the Imprim Jaun, I don't know, Jaun. It's kind of like olives and yellows and black and gray. Really cool. So anyway, I saw her finished socks on her podcast and I really wanted it. And so my mom sent me 2 balls of it for my birthday back in 2017. But I finally cast them on and I am down to the heel. Cast them on like 2 days ago or something. Anyway, this is my sock for when I'm on conference calls that I work on. That's why I'm finishing so many socks, because I've had a lot of like conference calls and workshops and stuff where it's like multiple hours of being on Zoom, and it helps me stay focused so I don't start like checking email and looking at other things and trying to get other work done, because I will do that and then you're not paying attention. But for all of us knitters and crafters, we know that knitting actually centers us. It's kind of like doodling, right? That you keep your attention from wandering by keeping your hands busy. So now I try to have a sock cast on and ready to go so that I can work on it. So this is what it looks like knit up. There's kind of like a very subtle stripe here. So there's like a lighter yellow and then like a darker citron yellow here, and then this sort of blackish gray, and then like the olive, and it fades up to this other blackish gray. So that's the progression. This is the heel, and then it has on it a little progress keeper that was part of the package that Jessica sent to me in my Christmas box. So thank you, Jessica, for that. I have it in a bag that my friend Sue made for me for Christmas. So it is this one. And I just have it folded over so it can be open on my desk. That is my sock in progress that I've been working on during the day. I have one more sock in progress. Oh God. Jeez. Let's just throw them all down. Okay. My other other sock in progress is for Josh, because when I finish one for him, I try to always cast on another one for him, just because he can always use socks and he doesn't have that many pair yet. So yeah. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners in the, it's the Country Birds collection. So this is the Blue Tit. And it's finally going back to the blue. So this is the set of stripes that you get. You get this blue, olive, bright yellow, and black, and then it goes back to the blue. So I finished the cuff, and I am on just the normal ribbing. I actually bought these needles for myself for my birthday as well. These are the what is it called? Mindful Collection, I think. Yeah, I think they're the Mindful Collection from Knit Pro. But I needed more soft needles because I used to knit everything with a 2.75, and then when I switched to knitting with my left hand, I went down to 2.5, so I have a ton of 2.75s, which I never use anymore. And I have very few 2.5 millimeter needles. So these are, I bought myself some more 2.5 millimeter needles. Yeah. They have like little words on them, and they also came with some stitch markers. And I bought some of those blocking combs. Are they called combs? They're like the ones that you can push in to something, but they're not pins. They look like a hair comb, but with spikes. I don't know what I'm going to use for the heels and toes on this. I'm thinking probably the black from Patons Kroy, but I don't know for sure. I might use a gray because I don't know if I have enough of the coal left over from the last pair of socks. I thought I was out, and I found another partial ball, so I used that. So I just don't know if I'm going to have enough. And then the last thing I'm working on that I threw all of the yarn on top of, unfortunately. So I have to try to stack it back up there again, and it's not ever going to go up there again. Good night. Is another test knit for Samantha. And this is the Chalet Days sweater. I believe it's going to come out February 23rd-ish, I think is the tentative date that she said. So this one gave me some definite fits and starts. Not any problem with the pattern, but my gauge was not exactly right. So it suggests a wool. I wanted to use stash, so I'm using Knitpicks City Tweed Heavyweight, which is an Aeron weight. But it is a, I think, alpaca wool acrylic blend. It's mostly wool, but I think it's at least like 40% alpaca. So it is drapey. So I was having issues with my gauge being too loose, despite doing a gauge swatch. What?
Am I not to watch this? It doesn't cost you money.
No, I don't want you to watch stuff that isn't Zebra Gamer. What are you doing? This isn't even Zebra Gamer.
Yeah, I know. It just popped me on. I'm asking if I'm allowed to watch.
No, because I don't know what this guy does. I don't know if he does
stuff. Oh, he does
but
I think does funny stuff. I watched a little bit when I was trying to find Zebra Gamer, and he like did fun stuff like he explodes stuff.
Stop. I don't know if he does mean stuff. Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Joshua, I just don't know that, okay?
He always kills the Ender Dragon.
Okay.
He doesn't do anything mean.
Okay. Well, crap.
That's
not what I wanted to do.
Anything mean.
I needed to do it down here.
And his video is named Crafty.
Okay. There you go. Now you can pick from the playlist. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Go shut the door. Come on. Maybe you should put on like real clothes so you're not cold.
Sorry.
It's okay. Anyway, I feel like I always have a story with the test knits, but it's not necessarily the pattern. It's just that I have, you know, the weird proportions. So anyway, I did it out of Knitpicks City Tweed Heavyweight in the Obsidian colorway, which I've had this one for a really, really long time as well. I think I got it in 2014. So old stash too. I was a little bit worried that I would run out, but I'm going to be fine. I have 2 balls. I just dipped into the first of those 2, and I'm down to just working even on the arm till the cuff. So I have a whole other ball to do the second sleeve, which would be completely fine because this I just used a little what was left over of the first ball. So yeah, it should be totally okay. I had 6 balls of it. So it's actually less than what Samantha called for in terms of yardage, but I knew from this sweater my total yardage that I used, so I knew that I could make this sweater with the yardage that I had. Because this is also a worsted weight sweater, so kind of same proportion idea. Okay, and then the other colorways I used, this is Plies and Hellhounds PolDK in the Sorciere colorway, held double with Winter Baker Moon in the Fig Lace base, so like the mohair. So this is a super halo-y sweater because I've got the alpaca in the Obsidian, I've got the Fig Lace in this one.
Chicken nugget.
So my tale of woe for this sweater, I used a size 8 needle up here to do the color work. And then I got to the part where I separated for the sleeves and I did them as per the pattern. I knit down to about here and I tried it on.
Chips and get cheese and microwave it.
Okay, great. You can do things without me. Anyway, I got down about 5 inches. I tried it on and it was gigantic. Like so big. Inches and inches of positive ease, even though it was supposed to be a 40-inch bust. So should have ostensibly been still 40 inches. And it looked like it was going bigger. So I think once I didn't have the color work tightening it, that my gauge was loosening up. So I was at 4 stitches per inch and the pattern calls for 5 stitches per inch. So I ripped back and I cast on fewer stitches under the arm. How many fewer did I do? 10 fewer on each side. So I took 20 stitches out of it. And then I did back decreases, I did waist decreases, and I meant to go down a needle size. Do you see where this is going? I got down to the same point again, which, okay, let's review here, children, that 10 inches would be my entire torso length. Now, between these 2 times, I've basically knit the sweater. Tried it on. It was like the same. So I'm like, how is that possible? I took 20 inches or 20 stitches out of this thing. I have decreases all over the place. Like, I think I had 6 back decreases and 6 decreases on each of the sides. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm just taking so many stitches out. And then I realized I didn't go down a needle size. So we're back again. So I've basically now knit the entire sweater's worth of material. This time I made sure, like I used wooden needles so that I knew I changed the needles. So I went down to a size 7 needle. Still did the taking out 10 stitches out of each underarm, and I still did the decreases on the sides. I did back decreases, so I did three decreases on the sides and 3 decreases on the back. Not paired decreases, just a single set, not double sets. And that fit. So that is what I did to get to here. Then I worked straight for a little while, and then I came back out I increased back to the original stitch count on the end, except for I was one decreased pair less to get to an even number, I think. Basically to get to a multiple of 4 for this, which I did knit 2 purl 2 2x2 ribbing. I stopped to do the neck, which I will suggest that if you do knit this sweater, do the neckline, because otherwise it's really hard to try it on and see how it's going to fit you, because it's meant to be a little bit wider of a neck, not like as much of a crew neck like this one. So before I did that, the neck was like out here. So I went and did the neckline first. It's not been blocked, so, but when it's on, it's not all wrinkly like this, and it's gonna block out really nicely. So then the sleeves. Because I took those 10 stitches out, I had to pick up, I think, 3 stitches under the arm. I did like, I don't know, 2 inches, and then I decreased 1 to get back to an even number. And then I decreased now 12 stitches, and then that fit me pretty well for the arm. So now I'm just kind of going till I get close to the cuff, and then I'll decrease down. I want this to have nice long cuffs, very similar to this one, that when I don't have my arms up, they go over my hand, and when I do, they stay nicely at my arm, because it's a heavy sweater, so I do want it to be warm enough. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. The sleeve has gone very quickly because it's Aeron weight yarn. It's not taking me a long time. So hopefully maybe I'll have the sleeves done this weekend, and then I'll be able to get some pictures in the pretty snow. That's my idea. I would like to be able to take pictures of it in the snow. But I really love it. I love the colors that I chose. Oh, and I did work the chart backwards, not on purpose. I reversed the chart, and I got to here, and Samantha was like, your sweater doesn't look like the other ones. Did you reverse it? And I was like, oh God, I did. But I like it, so I kept it. But if you look at the pattern, these little like bumps up should be in the contrast color. This one I worked as the chart intended, and then I obviously made it match and worked it backwards on the bottom as well. So that is all my foibles from my sweater. I'm excited to have it. It's going to be so warm and cozy, and if I finish it, it'll be great for the next couple of months to wear it while we're in kind of deep winter. And yeah, that is that. Okay, last thing, I really haven't worked on this at all because I want to try something new. So my friend Jen asked me what I'm going to do for my birthday cast on because she wants to do it with me. So I chose the Pagan Sky sweater by Zanete Knits, and I'm going to tear this back. I actually messed up on this one too. It has a fold over collar, which is nice. I love how those look. But when I did it, I got done with it. I did all the short rows because it's got short row shaping to raise the back. So there's those nice short rows. Got done with all that, came back around, was working the chart, and I'm like, I don't have enough stitches on my needles. What is going on? I misread the pattern. My friend Jen also misread the pattern the exact same way. Luckily, I caught it and told her, so she hadn't, I think, gotten all the way to the color work, so she had less to rip back. But that wasn't fun. Also, I have this super cute mug Progress Keeper from Charmed and Dangerous, and I want a mug like this in real life. For reals. looks like enamelware, and it's got trees on it. So I'm knitting this out of Plies and Hellhounds PolDK. This was some of her ACOTAR colorways that she dyed after she did the advent calendar that I didn't get, but I got a lot of the colors afterwards. This is Cat Eye Winked, which is like a very deep, beautiful navy. It's a really pretty tonal. And then the other one is Pool of Starlight, and it's like an icy blue with like icy pinks and greens and purples, I guess. So that's my contrast color. Now, the Pagan Sky has really big floats, like 30 stitches of floats. So I can't not catch my yarn, but I know that this is such a high contrast that the floats will show the way I knew how to pick them. So I learned how to do jacquard floats, which are, they look pretty straightforward. I went in and marked my chart of where I'm going to do, like you basically do a yarn over as an anchor stitch, and then every round you're purling that through the back loop with your contrast color, but you're bringing your main color forward first. So that purl through the back loop is basically making a knit stitch, but it's on the back side of your work, and it creates the float. And then your last stitch, you knit that together with the stitch next to it with the main color, and that closes the jacquard float. So it's absolutely invisible on the right side of the work, and yeah, it's really neat. I learned it from the Criterion sweater pattern by Wool and Pine, which I highly recommend. Haven't knit the pattern, but the tutorial was great, and I definitely intend to knit it, but it's a fingering weight colorwork sweater, and I wanted to do a DK with one with these yarns. So, Zanete knits, Pagan Sky. I will work on it. Jen will probably finish it before me because I had the test knit already going, and I don't want to work too much on this until that test knit is done. But should be done this weekend if I play my cards right. And then I can work on Pagan Sky and try out jacquard floats because I'm really excited about this new skill. I think it's going to like blow up my colorwork knitting. I'm so excited. Yeah, but it's so pretty. It's going to be such a pretty sweater. And I don't have any that are navy blue. So it's going to be nice. And this one, the colorwork goes way down. It actually splits for the sleeves and goes all the way down. So it's nice because you don't have the very long yoke. It's a normal size yoke, but then you have colorwork that continues on the sleeves and then down into the torso. So that should be really cool. And I color coordinated my bag with it because I can. Okay, then acquisitions. This is not all my acquisitions, but this is my most recent acquisitions. So back in November, I signed up for, oh my god, the book box that Gabby was doing for Crescent City. And the next book is coming out next month, and I'm so excited. So anyway, I got that in January. So it included some artwork. And if you've read the book, you'll know what this scene is. I love this so much. This is like my favorite scene in that book, to be honest. So good. So that's on my shelf. And then it had a candle, which was Bryce Quinlan. So it's red. It's in a little tin. It had some stickers. there's a Lehaba and a Therian, if I can reach it. Yep, a Therian. It's like a sexy merman. And then I had 2 colorways of yarn. Now mine were mislabeled. They were both labeled as the same colorway, but I checked with Gabby so I know what the colors are. So this one is Lighted Up, and it is on the ginger base, so it's sparkly. And it's these really pretty oranges and reds and peaches. Ooh, it's really pretty. And then the other one is Through Love, and this one is like the colors that Danica's hair is in the book. So it's like on a creamy base, but it's got mauve and green and lots of cool colors in it. Really pretty as well. Of course they're pretty. I love them. So I don't know what they will be when they grow up, but I have them. And they will go in my stash. And the other thing I got, and now I can't even tell you which skein is the skein that came in my box, but the yarn countdown that I got from Gabby for the Dark Academia yarn countdown that I opened up through my Vlogmas had 5 skeins of yarn. I think there were 5. One of the colorways was Yugen. Now she just did a shop update that was all of those colorways so that people could purchase them, and they were on other bases besides the 2 that she had available for the book box. I think she had Selkie or Aeron, which is her tweed. So I got mine on Aeron, but I knew when I opened this one, obviously I had to have it because this is a color that I just love. I mean, it's gorgeous. So when I opened that day, I literally was like, oh my God, so beautiful. So I think this one is the one from my Advent. It's ever so slightly brighter, but really I think that they will blend very nicely. I'm not concerned at all. So I got 3 more skeins. I got this, I had this one, and I got 3 more. I want to make the Snow sweater by Anna Johanna. It's a V-neck with like lots of cabling on the front, and it's sort of fitted, but I think it'll be really gorgeous in like a tonal wine color. Yeah, it's gonna be like the sweater of my dreams. But yeah, so now I have enough yarn to do that. It was nice that I already had this one, so it wasn't as expensive to buy the other 3. Stupidly, my sister bought me a gift card for Christmas, and I forgot to use it on this order, but whatever. I'm sure I'll order more yarn from her. But yeah, so this is Yugen on the Aeron base, and it is this amazing deep wine color. Burgundy. Kind of matches my Gothic Rose, but it's a little deeper than this one. Oh, it's so good. So good. So good. I love this color so much. So yeah, that was my sort of birthday purchase for myself. Birthday adjacent purchase for myself. And because I now have 4 skeins, I can make something with cables because it'll take a little bit more. Usually I can do a sweater with 3 if it's a real basic pattern, but for cables I need a 4th skein. So that's kind of everything there. I also got the Hannah Longmuir calendar from the Woolly Thistle. I have her sheep one, and I've actually been reusing it I've had it for years. I think I got it in 2018 and I just keep using it. I don't care if it doesn't show the days, but I can see the month, and I really love the sheepy art. It's all like pencil ink drawings. So there's like a sheep and a natural dye plant each month. So yeah, I have it hanging over there on that wall, and I can always see it behind me like when I'm on Zoom calls and stuff. So anyway, this year she did just wildlife, but unfortunately I don't have anywhere to hang this because it's a small hole versus that one is like the spiral with the little wire going through it. So there's like a screw right there, but I don't have something small enough for this hole. So I have to figure that out. So that's why it's not up. But they're just these gorgeous like watercolor and ink drawings. And then the days are just little lines with the date. But yeah, it's so pretty. And there's like little things in there. It talks about the birds and the flowers. I love the March one, the March hare. It's so pretty. And tulips. So yeah, I love her art so much. And yeah, so I wanted to have it. And luckily the Woolly Thistle did like a pre-access for people that have ordered a lot of stuff from them in the past. So I was able to get one because they usually don't get very many of them. I've missed her stuff since that sheep calendar. I haven't been able to get one. So yeah, hopefully that'll get hung up soon. But that was the other thing I bought that I really, really love. So that was a lot. In terms of books, that is not in this. But I have currently, as of the 29th, read 31 books. The book I'm reading right now is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. It is super cute, especially if you're like a lover of D&D. It has that sort of D&D going on an adventure, reluctant hero kind of vibe to it. But it's really funny. So there's a lot of like funny moments in it. And yeah, it's a sweet story. So Cinnamon is the heroine of the story who has to go out on this adventure and complete a quest. And she's the one who gets drunk and saves the demon in the beginning. Hijinks ensue. Otherwise, I've read a lot of what is it? Hope Heart. Yeah, Hope Heart books. And a lot of Tiffany Roberts books. And then I listened to my 4 audibles for the month. So the library that I'm part of lets you borrow 4 audiobooks a month through Hoopla. So I listened to these 3 romance novels that were like historical romance novels. And the first one and the second one are actually happening concurrently, which is kind of cool. So I read the first one, or listened to the first one, and then the second one kind of gives you the perspective of this other couple that's also getting together at the same time, and what were they doing while the events of the first story were happening. So that was kind of neat. And they actually reused the dialogue from scenes that you saw in the first book, and the things they say are exactly the same, but you get to see what was the other character thinking while they said those things. Why were they acting that way? So I'd never seen anything like that before, and that was really cool to see. The last one was My Hellion, My Heart. The first one was My Rogue, My Ruin. And the second one was I think My Darling, My Disaster. But it was a really fun trilogy, wrapped up very nicely for the third book. I very much enjoyed them. I heard audiobooks by that same author in December. I listened to some that was a different series, but she's the same author who wrote The Beast of Bezek, and that series that I listened to. So, yeah, highly recommend those. And then I listened to Boyfriend Material twice because it was that good. The narrator is amazing. I could listen to him read anything. Like, he had so many great voices. Each character had a very distinct voice and mannerism, and he just, like, top-notch, like, acting out the characters and being consistent with how their personalities were. It was just a joy to listen to, and it's by Alexis Hall, and I love their stuff. So, yeah, Boyfriend Material, highly recommend. It is a male-male romance, just in case you didn't know, but I don't really care about that stuff. Love is love. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Lucian and Oliver were just the sweetest couple. So cool. Like, they were a hot mess, but it was great. Yeah, so that one I just finished listening to. I'm trying to think if there were any others that, like, really stood out. Morning Glory Milking Farm was hilarious. I can't wait to read more of the Cambric Creek books. It was a monster romance, so it's a minotaur and a human, and I think the next one is supposed to be a Mothman and a human. But yeah, I love the setting of Cambric Creek, and that there's, like, this town where all of these monsters live and, like, just have normal lives and just do their stuff. Yeah, so that was really good. I downloaded a bunch of books. I traded in 2 of the kids' old tablets to hopefully buy myself a Kindle Fire, just so that I can read on a little bit bigger of a screen, because I've been reading all of these books on my phone, which, one, it's kind of small, and I'm at the point where I need bifocals, but I don't have them yet. So depending on where I can kind of sit up my phone, I can or can't see it. So I really need to have, like, a larger screen for that. And it also would be nice if I could have, like, a Fire. It'll have a stand, like a case with a stand, so it can sit up, so I can read it rather than trying to, like, sit it on my knee and have it sliding all over the place. So hopefully my trade-in will be processed soon, and I'll be able to order that. If you didn't know, and you have old devices, Amazon will let you trade them in, and then you get 20% off a new device. So that's why I'm doing it. Plus, then I don't have to worry about the recycling of the rare metals or whatever, because if they're new enough, they'll refurbish them and sell them again. So anyway, otherwise, what else? I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I've just been busy with a lot of, like, the stuff with the kids and getting them through the school year, and working and just reading a lot and knitting. So yeah, hopefully next time I will have a finished sweater to show you, and I'll have some progress so I can show you what jacquard floats look like. Like I said, I'm super excited to do them. So yeah, and maybe next time I will also do a giveaway. Let me see if I can come up with something to give away. All my prizes have been mailed out. They've been received by people. So that's good. That's all taken care of. I still have Sue's package up there to finish up. I need to go to Staples, but I can't go this weekend because snow. But that's the next thing I would be sending out. So hopefully if I do a giveaway, I could send it out at the same time-ish or not. I don't know. I'm babbling now. So I'm going to go and have some lunch and try to finish up a sleeve. So until next time, be safe. I hope you find time to do the things that you love. If you're not, get vaccinated, get boosted, and I will talk to you all soon. All right, bye.